Hey, welcome to the Backyard Blitz. We got our first round mock draft challenge. Tonight, we are going to go through the first round and decide who we think should go where. It should be fun. We're actually going to do this live. We've all done our mocks, which I put you guys up to that, and I said, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but we got some.
In typical
stuff,
BP fashion, you spring stuff on us, and you make us do more homework than I was prepared to do, or that I quite frankly care to do. So when we get hit with another assignment right before the show goes on, you can sense that I'm a little frustrated. All right, and I know we got a big show tonight. We've been leading up to this pretty much all off season. And you throw a curveball at us, BP. So we'll see how it goes. How it goes. Pal.
There was a method to my madness, boys. There was a method to my madness because this draft is unlike any that I've done over the last couple of years doing these mocks. Usually, you kind of maybe the top 7, and you could go through that, and everything kind of falls into place. This one, even the experts have no idea who's going to go 1. There's rumors about Will Levis. There's rumors about C.J. Stroud dropping down the board.
I know where they're all going.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
I know where they're all going.
Well, that's why we got you, man.
Does that tell you that maybe this draft class isn't very strong? That's what I gather from.
Or maybe it's very. There's a lot of parity.
I think there's a lot of depth, but I don't think there's a lot of top heavy stuff that's going on there in there. But how you guys been? How's your week been, guys? I know that you guys have been busy. Drew, your cocktail business has been going crazy, man. I've been seeing those 5-star reviews come across.
Oh yeah, listen, I don't accept anything less than a 5-star review when it comes to putting my name on something. So the cocktail business has been hot, to say the least, as we enter into our busy season here with weddings galore coming up in the spring and summer. I've been staying busy. Been in the weight room 3 times a week with the football team.
You pumping some weights yourself, or?
No.
12-ounce curls.
No weights. No weight pumping for me. Those days are over. I don't know if they were ever here, but they're over, whatever they are. So like I said, when I'm not doing that, I'm working back to my assistant athletic director role. So been busy, man.
Yeah.
Keeping busy.
Good stuff. How about you, Slick? What's going on with you?
This Monday we started spring practice, which is going pretty well. Like I said, as you all know, I'm at a new school.
Did he freeze?
Who, did I freeze?
Oh, you froze for a second. Wow, hey, Slick, you're trying to make me and Drew feel like, it's a normal thing. I appreciate that when you freeze like that.
I didn't hear him freeze. I didn't hear him freeze at all, so maybe you froze.
Really?
Yeah, maybe he froze.
Oh, wow. I could hear you guys. You guys were moving. I could hear you guys.
It's been going pretty well. Definitely had more numbers than I expected. Like I said, we're a small school, and last year they went on 9, so I didn't really expect. I kind of went into the situation already having my mind set on a certain visual of how it was going to be, but they end up surprising me, and we still have some that are working their way out there, so it's a plus.
That's awesome.
I see progress.
That's good, man. That's good. Prophet, what have you been up to? I know that this has got to be a busy week for you as you get ready for the NFL draft and trying to predict what's going on. I know that you've had your nose to the grindstone. What you been up to, man?
Yeah, once I got over that damn crud I had last week, man, I was hurting, boy. I was delusional, feeling bad in the stomach. I was so delusional that I told Mrs. Prophet that I would watch this series finale of A Million Little Things with her this week. What the hell was I thinking? But yeah, so we got date night Friday night, to watch the show, the final show, man. I don't know. Again, I don't know what I was thinking, but I started pumping some weight, a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, you did, huh?
I did. I looked in the mirror, man, and I had more chins in a Chinese phone book, man. I said, I got to do something about this. My idea of a balanced diet was one beer in each hand, So it just wasn't working for me, but now everything's going good.
That's good.
Yeah. How about you, BP?
Well, hey, Drew's over there sweating already. Well, I don't know. I feel like I look a little bit younger. Okay.
You do.
I don't know if you noticed that, there's a little bit less facial hair here. So over the weekend, I'm trying to start my grill and the igniter was out. So I had the propane on and I'm trying to get down there with the lighter and it wasn't working. And I got down close. Boom! It goes right in my face. Okay. And I'm like putting out my hair.
Oh my God.
And I go, well, the grill's on. So I shut it and I come back inside. I walk upstairs because I'm like, man, it feels like I got a sunburn on my face. I walk upstairs and my wife goes, what the hell is that smell? And I look all over my hands and it's all, what is it, like seared hair or whatever, like burnt?
Mm-hmm.
I go look in the mirror and all my facial hair was like orange from being burnt. And my eyebrows and my eyelashes. And this little, I have a little extra here, right here. Yeah, not anymore. I got a nice little spot that looks great in my webcam meetings at work. So that was number one. Number two.
Luckily, you didn't get more seriously injured.
I know, right? Glad you're safe.
Yeah, me too. But this is what my wife was concerned about. I stunk up the house. A burnt hair.
Not the fact that your face is on fire,
yeah.
but the fact that you stunk the house up.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like your best infomercials, right? But wait, there's more. The next day, our sprinklers come on. So I go out there to turn them on, and the valve was left open from when they blew them out this winter, and it just flew. God must have known that my face was like still red. So I get a face full of irrigation water. Boom, just like freaking Old Faithful. My wife, the only reason that she knew what was going on is my daughter was having dinner and she was laughing, like belly laughing, pointing out the window at me, struggling, trying to turn this off. God. So 2 days in a row, man.
I wish that was a TikTok. I would have watched that one better than you running around in ballerina clothes or whatever you were doing. But I'd like to see that one.
Yeah, it was. I tell you what.
That sounds like an adventurous week for you, BP. That's pretty. Glad you're safe, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Jesus. I thought you went and got an avocado wrap or something, man. You look so, bright and young, like you said. But
I'll tell you what, I'm trying to get on that TB12 diet, but I gotta wait. You know what they say?
I meant to wear my hat tonight.
It's hard to get mad at lazy people. I see a lot of people out there, running and doing stuff. It's starting to be nice out here, but it's hard to be mad at somebody who's lazy. They didn't do nothing.
That's like my old billboard joke.
All right, so what's going on? What's going on in the world right now? We got a big trade that we're going to talk about here briefly, but we got NHL playoffs, we got NBA playoffs. What's been on your radar that's not NFL related over the last week?
Something on my radar, and I really want to get to the bottom of it. And Rick, you probably heard about it on Twitter. 20 guys entered the transfer portal from Colorado on Coach Prime after the spring game was done. I want to know what the heck is going on in Boulder to where the 20 dudes and their best receiver, their 4-star receiver, who was their only guy who was legitimate, that was like, I guess, I don't want to say only guy that was legitimate, but like their best player from last year who was coming back, entered the portal. He had 122 yards in the spring game. I know it's a spring game, but what's going on in Boulder, Colorado out there for Coach Prime to be losing 20 scholarship players as soon as the spring game's over? These guys are going to be hoping to find a new home by the time camp rolls around. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's if he told them to transfer. I did see some things where some guys got told to transfer. That they wouldn't be, welcome back.
Wasn't one of them their tight end or something like that? I think I saw something on him.
Yeah, that's who I saw. But dude, 20 guys, that's a lot of movement.
It's
that's kind of curious to me.
I saw something, I think today, where it went up to like 51.
51?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
I didn't see that.
Are they even going to be able to field a team with 51 guys in the transfer portal?
What I keep hearing is basically he's kind of like making room for whatever or whoever he has coming in.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hearing.
I did see the guy from Florida State committed there today.
Yeah, I think he targeted 2 from Florida State. I know he had 1 from JSU. I think the other receiver, Malachi Wideman, that was at JSU. Actually, he's from this area. I think he's coming up. I've been seeing a few that he's been.
Yeah, but the one big name that he brought with him from Jackson State to Colorado entered the portal again. So he was with them at Jackson, went to Colorado with them, and now he's back in the portal after only a couple months of practicing with them.
I don't know what's going on.
Is he pushing too hard? I don't know.
It could be that. It could be the weather. It could. No,
they didn't know it was cold in Colorado until they got there.
I mean, but you know, kids, the hype. Oh, I'm going to play for Coach Prime, and then when they actually are in that spring game, it's like, nah, I can't do this.
They thought there was a nightlife in Boulder.
I was reading where there's a lot of favoritism going on out there with the coaching staff.
Didn't his son come over there to play quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah. He brought his kid in, and
Jesus, he's pretty good.
Both of them. He has one that plays safety too, but he doesn't play till fall.
Well, if they're missing 51 people, he's going to start no matter what. Yeah. He ain't going to have anybody.
That's I don't know. It was just interesting because, like you said, when he got hired, it was all the craze, and he made headlines for saying, "I'm bringing my luggage," and it's Louis.
Yeah.
He don't have any luggage right now.
Yeah.
So where is it? So we'll see what happens. I
couldn't tell you, but one thing I do know about Prime, you cannot sleep on him.
No, that's true.
No, but he needs players, that he does.
He might not know the plan. I guarantee you, Prime has some type of plan.
For sure.
He just filled the whole stadium and sold out seats for the spring game. I don't think Colorado has done that in history.
No,
that's true.
So
maybe back when Cordell Stewart was there, maybe,
yeah.
What's on your radar, Slick? What?
See, he's the one freezing, not us.
He's the one freezing.
That was me. That was
it was you.
What's on your radar?
It was basically the Prime thing. I actually paid attention a little to little playoff basketball lately. Not major, but more than I was.
Any team catching your eye like that you feel like just has the factor right now making a run?
I would say Philly. Philly's kind of surprising. Not kind of surprising, but they're playing good ball. Like they're playing good ball right now. Of course, you can't count the Warriors out. Mm-hmm. LeBron, I guess he's finally deciding to be LeBron, and the Lakers have been trying to make noise. That's really the only teams that I really been paying attention to. I'm pretty sure there's other teams that's playing good ball, but those are like the only 3 that really I really seen lately.
I just have to say this. I've never said this. Like I can't stand LeBron. Can't stand him.
Me neither.
I cannot stand that
I respect this game, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no. Okay, that's good. Thought we'd be getting controversial there, but we're on the same page. Prophet,
I've never been a fan of his, and I've never been a fan of Kobe. God bless his dead, but I always respected their games, but I just never been a fan.
Big Kobe fan. I'm a big Kobe fan.
I'm an MJ guy.
I love
MJ too,
but
right. I think Kobe was except that whole little mishap at the hotel. Something.
Prophet, what's on your radar this last week?
BP, I can't get over your face, dude.
It's wild. Yeah, I look 10 years younger.
He's all blistered up.
He's all blistered. Yeah. He's like shiny. Like he looks like he just put.
Got that new skin.
Yeah, he needs some makeup. He needs some makeup on to tone down the shine a little.
We'll find some cocoa butter. We'll find some cocoa butter and put on your face.
Yeah.
With some aloe.
I want to shift gears here a little bit, BP, and get away from the sporting world with what I want to talk about. Actually, I want to go on to the international news front. The CEO of IKEA was named Sweden's prime minister this past week, and he should have his cabinet together by the weekend.
Oh my God! I knew. I was like, where's this going? Uh-oh. All those things were going through my mind, and well done. Well done. Well done. That was a good one.
I'm just psyched for the draft, man. I'm looking forward to it. That's all.
Me too. I've been watching some playoff hockey. The Avalanche played tonight against the Kraken. That's been a hell of a series.
What is a Kraken?
Out of the Kraken. It wasn't that like one of those like giant squids, like mythological creatures or whatever. Also, can we agree that Seattle, like in general, has the worst professional uniforms of any city? Like
I've never seen them.
Oh my God! I mean, you got the Seahawks; they were okay, but then they get the lime greens.
The old school Ken Griffey Mariners uniforms were
good.
Were legit, you know, the light teal. Like that's just like the old school Marlin throwbacks. Like, do they need to bring them back full time? The Marlins wear them now on Friday games, dude.
I like the throwback Supersonics.
Yeah,
man, that's wild.
Yeah, that's going back some years, Slick.
I don't know, man. I don't love I didn't love the neon green Seahawks.
Yeah, I can't get a hold of those.
I like them. Color Rush.
I always have to like turn off the was it like the tone or something on the TV and be like, this is freaking gonna ruin the tube of my TV.
Well, that's why Geno had such a good year not throwing picks, man. He knew where he was throwing the ball to at least. You
could see him. Well, guys, it finally happened. Happened Monday afternoon. All of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers, the New York Jets, and the Green Bay Packers came to a deal finally where Aaron Rodgers is going to be a New York football Jet. Okay? We talked about a lot of stuff, but now this kind of shapes up the draft a little bit because they swapped first-round positions, right? And there's a second rounder that's in there. They basically exchanged a fifth and a sixth. The Packers get a fifth. The Packers I'm trying to think who got the Jets sent the fifth, Packers got the sixth, and then there's a conditional 2024 pick that could turn into a first first rounder if he plays 65% or more of the snaps, which I think he's going to, right? I think he only missed a big chunk of the season like once, maybe twice in his 18 years.
I think the freaking I'm going to wait. I'm not ready yet.
What do we think about this, guys?
The freaking Packers made out like robbers, dude. Like,
yeah.
They get like 4. They could potentially have 3 number 1 draft picks out of this, right?
So they just swapped spots this year. So
and then a second round, and then an additional first round next year.
No. So that second rounder turns into a first.
No, they got a second round this year too, didn't they?
Well, they got a second rounder this year. Yes, but then the one next year.
Second rounder next year if he doesn't play 65% of the snaps, which he's going to.
Oh, he's going to. That's going to be a first for sure.
Yeah, I think they basically made out in that deal.
The Jets basically gave him a second round pick and next year's first round pick for Rodgers. That's basically what it amounts to.
Yeah, and it actually worked in their cap too because they converted some of his I guess his cap hit was going to be ridiculous. They shifted it around a little bit where he's only going to be $15 million on the books, and it frees up $43 some odd million for the Jets. So they're loading up. They're loading up right now. So this what's going to happen in the draft, and don't be shocked if there's a second wave of free agency. People may be going to the New York Jets. But I want to talk about this real quick. So my buddy John Kielbasi is a diehard Packers fan, okay? And his response was he's just happy that the drama is over. Do you think that he's just coping with losing a Hall of Fame quarterback out of Green Bay? Or do you think he's genuinely happy? Because I can't think that
we have this argument every year with my friend group, and I back Rodgers. I try my hardest, but what has he done in the playoffs?
Lose to San Francisco. That's what he's done. He's 0-4 against them in his career.
He doesn't have a stellar track record.
Brought him up, Drew.
It seems like he can't win the big one, in my opinion.
That's right.
And that's been his MO for a few years. Well, for his whole entire career, pretty much.
Yeah, he won one Super Bowl in 2010, but he's been in the playoffs. But how
many times have they been like the team to beat, and they get beat
number one seed?
Number
one seed. I think a couple times that they've gotten beat that way, and a lot of those games have been at home. By the way, one of them was in frigid Lambeau 2 years ago. I know that the Buccaneers came in there when they went on their Super Bowl run. Right, they went into Lambeau and beat the Packers, albeit that was the 2020 season with not as many people there. But nonetheless, it's in Lambeau. They didn't have to go to Tampa with excuses. But yeah, you're absolutely right. So this is Jordan Love's team. Like, is that what it is? What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's his team, but what he's going to do with it, that remains to be seen. I mean, yes, Mr. Kobasi, the fact that it's all over with is great, but it was over one way or the other as far as Rodgers was concerned. He wasn't playing for Green Bay this year. He was going to retire if he didn't get traded to the Jets, and and that number 1 pick next year that Green Bay's going to get could be a 29, 30, or 30 pick too. So that, I mean, not that losing a first round pick at any spot is a good thing, but it's not like they're going to get a first, second pick there. I mean, the Jets are going to be legit this year, and I do not like New Jersey teams, New York teams. We've already discussed that.
You got what? You got Rodgers. You got Breece Hall coming back off an ACL, who should be healthy. You got Garrett Wilson. You got who's the one that they signed?
Lazard. They got Lazard.
You got Sauce Gardner holding down in the secondary.
Their defense has been loading up, and I think they're going to do the same thing potentially in this draft. Like, they could be loaded and all that cap space, right? So they could be good for a while if Rodgers sticks around. My question is now, right, there's a lot of layers to this. Obviously, Green Bay, I think they're going to be rebuilding for a little bit when you lose a guy of that caliber. But now, let's not forget, 3 years ago, around this time of the year, actually exactly this time of the year, the New York Jets took Zach Wilson, number 2 overall, and he said that he's going to – I couldn't get it downloaded. It wasn't working. But Zach Wilson –
Send him a video 2 days ago. Couldn't get it on the computer.
No, it's not working when I was trying.
You guys make fun of me saying that I don't come in prepared. I sent him a video 2 days ago and I couldn't get it on the friggin'
It's not working.
I don't want to hear any of your comments in the right hand side here on the YouTube or the Facebook. I wanted a video and I didn't get it, and I'm tired of it. But I guarantee any video that BP wanted is going to be on here.
I'm telling you, it's not working right now. You see, it's freezing up. But Zach Wilson in the offseason said that whoever comes in, he's going to make that quarterback's life a living hell. Well, that quarterback now is Aaron Rodgers. Okay?
He said that?
He said that.
Why is he going to steal? Is he going to steal his jockstrap?
Yeah. Maybe he's going to try to date Rodgers' mother, but she's probably in a home by now. Rodgers is getting old. I don't know. This is going to be wild, but I can tell you what, that AFC with all those quarterbacks over there is going to be crazy to watch, and especially in that AFC East where you got Josh Allen, you got Tua, and now all of a sudden you add Aaron Rodgers to the fold. It's going to be wild.
Is this? Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking like Cameron Poe from Con Air.
Oh man,
with his mullet blowing in the wind. It's going to be wild, guys. It's going to be wild. But so it's going to make an impact on the draft. But you want to know what? We're a night away from the draft, and we got some big stuff going on. We got some big stuff going on, right? We got our mock draft challenge. It's a big deal. $150 is on the line to the winner. We've already got, I think I counted today, we got 60 submissions, 61 actually, as of this afternoon. I know that there's more on the way. 61 submissions so far. So keep them coming in. $150 to the winner. And normally, what we've done in the past on this show is we talk about the differences of our picks, and we kind of go through and talk of it. And you know what? It's gosh damn boring. That's boring. So I threw a wrench in it today to give you guys an idea of what a draft is like. So once again, we're going to put our GM caps on, and we're going to be doing our own collaborative mock draft, and we're going to do it live on the air right now.
This is what he hit us with 5 minutes before the show started. Hey,
you know
guys, we're going to do a live mock draft. I hope you guys are ready.
You guys all submitted your mock draft. See, there's always a method to my madness. I say, hey, you got to have your mock draft into me on Tuesday, because now I ensure that you did the mock draft.
No,
Hey,
now you ensure that you could just copy off our mock draft and pick all of our picks.
I honestly haven't even.
When I hosted the show and I gave you guys a list of things to do, and you're like, "Oh, that's a lot." Yeah, well, it was like, who's better looking, this actress or this actress. It wasn't hard homework. This is hard homework. Hard homework that you're giving us.
All right, boys.
At least when I host a show, I give the guys easy stuff.
Well, life ain't about being easy, Drew. And I was in Germany for 4 more years. You should know I'd be a little bit more strict.
Yeah. Whatever.
All right, so this is the way it's going to work.
Watch out. Next you're going to say I'm up first.
You're up first. How did you know?
What?
You're on the clock.
The way we're going to go, Drew's on the clock, and then Ricky's going to pick number 2 pick. Prophet's got number 3. I got number 4, and then we're just going to keep rotating. It's really going to be like how the draft is tomorrow. We don't know what to expect. There could be a player that somebody picks that we didn't expect in that spot, and we're going to have to adjust, and we're going to have to see. We're going to post the results online after the show so you to take a look at and be entertaining. And, God, let's see who can be the closest here. But we got $150 on the line for our fans here. Make sure you submit those to thebackyardblitz@outlook.com. Deadline is right all the way up to the time of the draft. So emails are timestamped. Makes it real easy. Man, you're already wanting to walk out of there. You're on the clock, Drew.
How long are we taking between picks? I want to know.
Oh, we'll probably talk about them for a few minutes, I can imagine. But the Carolina Panthers are on the clock. Drew, that's you. Top needs, we got quarterback, we got wide receiver, we got edge rusher. Who's going number 1 overall tomorrow night?
The pick is in. The pick is in. That's what I was seeing. If you had the friggin'
I know. I wish I did. No, I'm going to pull it up
sound.
With the number 1 overall pick, the Carolina Panthers of the 2023 NFL Draft. The Carolina Panthers select quarterback C.J. Stroud, Ohio State.
C.J. Stroud, huh? All right.
Yes, I got the Panthers tomorrow night taking C.J. Stroud. I told you guys a couple weeks ago when we did our quarterback breakdown, C.J. is going to be the first quarterback off the board, and I think the Panthers are going to be a nice home for him. I think he's got the most upside out of this quarterback class that quite frankly I think is slightly overrated.
Let's see if I can do my best Mel Kiper impression here. Well, you guys, I totally think that if C.J. Stroud goes number 1 overall, he's going to be just an absolute bust. He's going to bust. He totally messed up on his Wonderlic test. He got 18 of 100, and I don't know about you, about my math, but I think it's totally wrong. I think the Panthers just left a lot to be had here at the number 1 pick. Frank Reich, your hot seat just got a lot hotter there, buddy.
That's funny.
I blacked out what I say.
I know. The Houston Texans are on the clock.
I'll be right back.
Texans are on the clock.
I'll be right back.
Oh no! Are you serious? Oh God, he's messing with this.
What is he doing?
I had to get into the war room.
The fact that you even know how to do that.
It took me an hour and a half today to get that.
Oh my God.
I don't even know how to do that.
I'm impressed, Prophet. I'm impressed. All right, so C.J. Stroud goes number 1 overall. I don't know how surprising it would be.
I'm shocked.
It's all over the place, but what are your thoughts there, Prophet, real quick?
I honestly thought that Bryce Young was the only quarterback that is ready to start playing ball in September.
Yeah.
And, I like Stroud, don't get me wrong, but Carolina, they put Stroud out on that field. They're basically saying, okay, well, we're not winning the division this year, in my mind.
It's going to be wild. I'm not a big fan of him going number 1 overall. I think he definitely goes top 5, but we'll see. I mean, crazier things have happened. There's a huge rumor that we'll talk about super quick is Will Levis. There was a Reddit thread that he was going to go number 1 overall, that he was talking amongst his family, and then the Vegas odds went from it was plus 2,000 to plus 400. So increased dramatically. And then on top of that, the Carolina Panthers said that there's a consensus in their war room right now of who they're going to pick number 1 overall. So it's going to be wild. If it's Levis, it's going to turn the whole draft upside down, and it'll happen right away. All right, let's move on to number 2. Slick, who you got?
Number 2, of course, Bryce Young to the Texans.
You got the Texans picking a quarterback there, huh? So we're going Bryce Young to the Houston Texans. Man, 2 quarterbacks going back to back. That's not what I had at that pick, but Slick, why you have Bryce Young going to the Houston Texans at 2 overall?
Well, honestly, I had Bryce Young going first to the Panthers and Stroud going 2 to the Texans. That's what I had, but Drew already got Bryce Young, so I just flipped him.
Okay, so you had
Stroud, so I just flipped him.
I think overall, I don't know if they go quarterback at number 2. They have a pick at number 12. I feel like they might go defense, was my hunch with this one, and I had them picking Will Anderson out of Alabama. I think that might be a great spot.
On your picks. That's why we can't talk about it. You can't give away your picks.
That's okay. That's what we're here for. We're here to entertain and inform, my friend.
Nope. If we were talking about our mock drafts, then we would have been entertaining and informing. Now we're GMs and we don't talk to each other.
Right. You're right, Drew Dollars. You're right.
Drew dollar sign.
Prophet, what do you think about Bryce Young there? Do you agree with that? If the first one off the board is C.J. Stroud, or do you think that they might go defense there?
Absolutely, I agree with that pick right there, because like I said, I thought Young's the first quarterback. Now, I personally had Young going first and going defense in this position.
Okay,
the 2 slot.
That was my thought. Okay. Well, Now guess what? You're the Cardinals GM right now. You got a new head coach. The 2 top quarterbacks are off the board right now. The Cardinals are in a spot to maybe pick the top defensive player. What do they do right here?
BP, pick up your phone, will you please?
Yep. Let's see. Hello?
Okay. Yes. I'm looking at trading down to number 16 here. Okay, and I want to get Chase Young and a second round pick, your second round pick next year for the 3 slot. Are you interested in that?
Hello? You're breaking up?
Yep.
I'm not taking that pick right there. I like where I'm at. I'm not giving up Chase Young, a generational talent. I know we didn't pick up his 5th-year option, but that means that we're getting close to an extension right now. We'll see what happens, but I'm not sold at the Washington Commanders going up to number 3.
The guy's got rubber bands for legs. I mean, you kidding me? I'm willing to take that chance on him, but okay. I know you need a quarterback, and you ain't getting one at number 16. I was giving you a chance. So, okay. And with the 3rd pick in the draft, the Arizona Cardinals take Will Anderson out of Alabama.
I like that pick right there. Will Anderson. Let's get him off the board. All right. You guys think he's the best defensive player in the draft right now?
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I absolutely think so. I'd be shocked if he fell to 3, because I think 2 is a good spot for him. But like Kabasi said, and by the way, Prophet, I do think that number 3 pick is for sale. I didn't want to break this simulator here, so I didn't feel confident enough to do it.
You didn't know how to do it, is what it is.
No, I know how to do it.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Happen to the rest of it, you know what I mean?
I got you.
I don't know what's going to happen to the rest of it. So, and by the way, for our mock draft challenge, we're not going to predict trades or anything. It's literally the player at that pick number. So as you go down, so number 1 overall is worth 1 point. Number 2 overall is worth 2 points. It doesn't matter the team, just the player. As you go down, obviously the last pick is number 31, because the Dolphins forfeit their pick. So there's only 31 picks in the first round. So that last pick of the first round would be worth 31 points. And whoever has the top score is going to win. So looks like I'm on the clock. I got that horseshoe. I haven't had a quarterback in a while. Man, I really thought in my mock draft that C.J. Stroud would be available here. I thought there was a good chance at that with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud off the board right now, it kind of throws me off a little bit. And because I need a quarterback, I'm going to panic pick. And I'm going to go with Will Levis. Right here.
Great pick.
I'm picking him.
I want to be in your fantasy league.
I went with him on the 4th pick too.
It's actually funny because I had him going 4th too.
Me too.
Are you serious? Oh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
We
I
all had him on our mock going number 4 overall.
I had him originally going. I had the Texans picking him up, but at the 12th pick is what I had. I felt like he could draft, but if it falls this way, right, 2 quarterbacks off the board with a quarterback needy team sitting there at number 4, I feel like they're going to make a move and pick the next guy there, and I think that's going to be Will Levis. By the way, weird guy. Everything I hear about him is weird. He's like he's scared of milk or something like that. He eats, was it cupcakes or something with a wrapper on? This is some wild
shit.
shit.
He does some weird stuff. Yeah.
Well,
All right.
plastic's good for you.
Apparently. That means your shit comes out bagged already, probably. All right, number 5 pick. We got the Seattle Seahawks on the clock. We got 3 quarterbacks off the board, top defender off the board, top needs for the Seattle Seahawks. We got guard, center, defensive line. We know that Pete Carroll is going back to that Legion of Boom defense. Who you got here, Drew, going to the number 5 pick for the Seattle Seahawks?
Well, with the 5th overall pick of the 2023 NFL Draft, we would like to welcome Mr. Firebear to the stage to make this honorary pick for the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, God, get this stuffed animal off the stage, please. Can we get back to business?
The pick is in. I want Jalen Carter from Georgia.
Man, we're 5 picks in and we're off the rails. Jalen Carter from Georgia. I like that. Now, okay, there's some big red flags with Jalen Carter. His pro day, the dude was tired. He couldn't even finish the workout. Obviously, he was involved in that. Was it a car crash? Right, that killed 2 of his teammates. Right, one that was on the team, and the other one that was a staff member. If I'm not mistaken,
something like that. Yeah.
Trainer. You still feel confident he goes number 5? I keep hearing he's not going to drop that fast, but man, like he's the top defensive lineman in the country. I think
he's a dog.
I didn't realize that he killed people. I knew he got tired at his pro day.
No, he didn't kill anybody.
That.
He himself didn't know. He was in the car.
In the accident.
He was involved in the car accident, and 2 people died.
Yeah.
But they were drag racing.
I'm fine with him.
I actually got him going higher.
Well,
really? Where did you have him going in yours, Prophet?
3 to the Cardinals.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Slick, it looks like we got the Detroit Lions on the clock right now. Who's coming off the board right here?
I went with the D lineman from Pittsburgh. I don't know how to say his first name, but his last name is Cansey. Elijah Cansey.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went with him.
Oh,
they were comparing him with Aaron Donald. He played ball at Pitt. He played ball.
Man, that'd be wild. They do have a need at the interior spot right there. Also, wide receiver, tight end. Thought that they could have gone corner right there potentially. We got another interior defensive lineman coming off the board, which leaves the Las Vegas Raiders on the clock. Number 7, O-line, interior defensive line, DB. Who you got coming off the board right here, Prophet?
Well, let me go back one first. Yeah, it's been bothering me for a week now with this Detroit team.
Okay.
We give them kudos on this show all season last year. You think they're finally starting to turn the corner, and don't they go and throw themselves out the door again? 3 guys got suspended this last week for gambling. Well, Williams only got 6 games because he wasn't gambling on football games, but the other 2 were gambling on pro games. I mean,
whoa, wait a second. He wasn't gambling on football games, and he still got suspended?
Yes,
yeah.
He was gambling during an NFL function online.
Oh, and so it wasn't at the NFL function that was the problem?
Yes, the fact that he did it, he did it while doing NFL functions, yes. But the other two got suspended indefinitely. They could be going for life for
Did you not learn from
Calvin Ridley?
Calvin Ridley. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Never mind. Are we not talking?
Yeah.
That's why I had the Lions going
Yeah.
with the receiver.
Yeah.
But at any rate, with the 7th pick in the draft, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to go with the cornerback out of Illinois, Devin Witherspoon.
Yeah, I think Devin. Yeah, now that we show all his highlights and stuff, I'm not that good. Devon Witherspoon. I honestly love this pick. I really love this pick. I think he's made to be right there as a Las Vegas Raider. I think he's been projected here almost the entire mock draft season, right? I think it really depends on where Christian Gonzalez goes. I think Gonzalez could go to the Lions potentially. I also think that he could go to the Seahawks. But Witherspoon, I really like with the Raiders right there. They're in the AFC West. They got some good quarterbacks there. They got a lot of receivers they got to cover, and obviously that's a big need for the Vegas Raiders. I think that's a slam dunk of the pick right there.
And obviously, I had the chance to go with Gonzalez and chose Witherspoon.
So what was the deciding factor there?
Well, I think Witherspoon's more of a Raider type player. He's a hard nosed kid, where Gonzalez is more of a finesse player. Doesn't fit the Raiders mold as well.
Okay. Now this next pick is I don't know where to go with this, right? Especially if it lands the way that it is. We got 3 quarterbacks off the board already. The Falcons, isn't their quarterback right now, supposedly according to their head coach, Ritter?
Yes.
The third rounder from last year, right? Mariota's gone. Who's the backup?
Not sure.
Not Mariota.
Not Mariota. So they could need a quarterback here. They also need some playmakers. And I really think that they have a need at edge.
Heineke,
right? Heineke, that's right. So in this circumstance right here, they could look at Anthony Richardson potentially. They could look at Njigba. But I have them going with the edge from Texas Tech, Tyree Wilson right here. They have a need for it. Yeah. What is it? Tyree Wilson. Oh, God.
Can't forget the sound effects.
I got to get the sound effects. So there's some his.
Wow, you got to scroll way down to find his name.
You do, but his draft stock has gone up. And matter of fact, there's a lot of mock drafts right now. Bucky Brooks is one of them. I think Peter Schrager as well, where they actually have Tyree Wilson going before Will Anderson, which I honestly I think is a mistake. But his draft stock has risen over the last week or two. So there's a lot of edge players in this, and teams that might be needy right there, potentially with the Falcons, they might pick him. I wouldn't be surprised to see a team trade down to try to get him, but I got the Falcons going with Wilson right there.
I think it's the right pick. I personally have the Falcons taking an edge player too, but Wilson wasn't available in my draft.
What does that say, Drew? Oh, the pick is in. Oh God!
You know when they're trying to rush you off stage.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Nice. No, Prophet, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think that would be a good spot there. I don't know if they go receiver. They got one last year in the first round. The way the draft is falling right now, I don't think that they're sold on a quarterback at that 8th spot. I could see them trading down out of that spot if it lands this way, or picking an edge player, which we got. All right, we got the Chicago Bears on the clock. It's back to you, Drew. Who you got here?
With the 9th overall pick in the 2023 draft, here to announce the pick, Liam the Elf. Well, guys, I'm used to coming up short in my life, but this guy is anything but short. And with the 9th overall pick, the Chicago Bears select Peter Skronsky, tackle, Northwestern.
Good pick.
Hey.
I think this pick's a no-brainer, honestly, for the Bears. Yeah. This is where I actually had him on my my mock draft.
Me too.
Me too.
The Northwestern kid. He's from right in Chicago. The Bears need offensive line help in the worst way, and I think he's going to be available to help shore up that front line for Mr. Fields.
I think so too. I think that's a great pick. I think that's a great pick right there. You gotta, if you're gonna be sold on Fields, you gotta protect him. You definitely gotta protect him. They missed out on Mike McGlinchey in free agency, which was a big name going to right tackle there. So I think this makes up for it. Which brings us to the Philadelphia Eagles on the clock at pick 10. Their needs: wide receiver, guard, center, interior defensive lineman, safety. They could go running back. They could go all over the place here. Really, I wouldn't be surprised at any position but quarterback. If they picked a quarterback, I'd be very surprised. Slick, who you got the Philadelphia Eagles right now?
Do it, Slick. Pull the trigger, Slick. You know who they're taking here.
I went with Jackson Smith.
You went with who?
Jackson Smith, the receiver from Ohio State.
Okay.
Oh, Jackson Smith and Jigba? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to say the last name, so I just went with Jackson Smith.
I don't think he's going to get that far. I had the Lions taking him at 6 or whatever it was.
Okay, we got him.
Jigba there. They got to replenish them losing the receiver to gambling.
I think in this spot here with the Eagles, I would not be surprised if how do you pronounce his name? Bijan Robinson.
Yeah,
I thought
that's where he's
going to the Eagles. They lost Miles Sanders. Everybody's been talking about Robinson going to the Cowboys. I honestly don't think he falls that far. I think that this is the spot for him right there at 10.
I think Dallas gonna get him.
You think?
I think if Atlanta doesn't take him, the Eagles will.
I think the Eagles might go with Gibbs from Alabama before they go with, just because I feel like he fits what the Eagles do versus what Johnson does.
Okay.
Like, he's a good back, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the Cowboys already have Pollard, which is that wiggle guy. They need another power back. Gibbs, those are the two top backs. I don't feel like Gibbs and Pollard would go good together.
Yeah.
BP, I just emailed you something, by the way. Check that when you get a free second.
So with this particular pick, can you imagine, though, let's say it falls this way, and Jigba goes number 10 overall to the Philadelphia Eagles. That means they would have A.J. Brown, they would have Deontay Smith, and Njigba. I mean, that's weapons galore.
I think, no, they don't need a receiver. They need help in other places rather than, I don't know, you want to have the conversation of taking the best available. I mean, go ahead, but if I'm the Eagles, I don't need to add another receiver to the mix.
Right.
This high. All right. Now,
later
on in the draft, it's fine. But you got a guy like, Branch sitting out there from Alabama who can come in and play for you right away and help shore up your defensive secondary.
Yeah, they lost their safeties, right? In free agency.
I'm like, go get somebody who, and I don't know, man, go get somebody who fills a void that you got.
That's what makes this draft so crazy.
Yeah, their receiving core, basically, what I'm saying, their receiving core right now, it doesn't necessarily need the help.
Well, darn it, Drew, I'm a receiver, and I like scoring points.
No, dude, I get it. And a lot of people were telling,
that's right there.
A lot of people were saying draft Bijan, and I'm like, dude, like,
next pick's up.
Oh, the pick is in. What do we got?
It ain't. It ain't in, but it's up.
Ah.
Yeah. See, this is actually a slot that I think Tennessee won't be in, but if they are,
go up. You think they'll go up or trade down?
Yeah, I think they're going to try and go up to get a quarterback here. Yes.
Yeah, there was some news about Tannehill, right? Maybe being on the market and them going up and getting somebody and them not being sold on Malik Willis.
Yeah.
I've been hearing some rumblings about that. Okay. So who you got going to right here?
But with that being said, I mean, things being equal here, I'm saying they're going with Broderick Jones, the offensive tackle out of Ohio State.
Broderick Jones going to the
Georgia.
Tennessee Titans. Yeah, Broderick Jones is from Georgia. Yep.
Georgia, why did I? Yes, I have it written down. I said OSU. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought you said Tennessee State.
Oh, my goodness. All right, we got Broderick Jones off the board at pick 11.
He's nasty.
That fits a need that they need, right? They need to shore up their offensive line.
And that guy's nasty.
Yeah.
He is a nasty player.
Nasty.
Do you think that the Titans, since we're on their pick right now, I've been hearing Derrick Henry potentially being on the trade block in Tennessee. Too. Do you think they maybe use him as a chip to trade up? Is that kind of what your thoughts were there? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if they're looking to change quarterbacks, that means they're looking to rebuild. Okay, so you don't need a running back that's in the twilight of his career. If you're looking to rebuild, start fresh.
Yeah. Okay. Man, so the way that this is dropped right now to the Houston Texans are next up on the clock here. They didn't get a quarterback at 2. They went they got a quarterback at 2 with Bryce Young.
Bryce
Young. There we go. All right. So what I think we got receiver. They need some weapons, right? They dealt Brandon Cooks in the offseason. They need some defensive line, which Robert Saleh is bringing over his defense to the Houston Texans. And center, I can't see a center going right here. As far as defensive line, you could maybe sell me as an edge, but I think the best player on the board left right now, right? So I think you can make a case for maybe Bijan Robinson. I don't think that they make that move there. You don't go running back at 12 and you're trying to rebuild. But I do think maybe you shore up your defense and you go with Christian Gonzalez here with the Texans. I think they maybe shore up the outside a little bit, get a good defensive player. I don't know if they go wide receiver right there. Like I said, it's a deeper draft. And one of the best ones is off the board, in my opinion, in Jigba. What are your guys' thoughts with this?
Well, me personally, I think they go defense there now because they got their quarterback. Mm-hmm. But and I like Gonzalez, but I think they go D line.
Who do you think that they would go with right there?
I'm thinking Nolan Smith.
The edge out of Georgia? Okay.
Yes, and DeMeco Ryan, man, he's had Bosa for a couple of years out there in San Fran. He knows what a guy like that can do for a defense. And Absolutely. Nolan Smith is possible to do that.
No, I agree with you. I agree. And that's why I really think at 2, I wouldn't be surprised them to pick up Will Anderson and maybe them go Will Levis here.
Right.
That's how looking for it. That's how
I'm set.
Play. Yeah, that's how I think it could play out. But by the way, the reason we're doing this is because this is how crazy the draft does get. There's players that come off the board that you don't expect to come off the board in a certain spot, and it changes everything. This might be the most accurate thing that we watch, and we're thinking it's crazy right now. But we'll see tomorrow night. All right, so we got the Green Bay Packers on the board now. After that Aaron Rodgers trade, right? They swapped picks with the New York Football Jets. They're on the clock. And boy, wouldn't it be poetry if they picked a receiver here? I would laugh my ass off if that's what they did. But, Drew, what do you got?
And the Packers are saying the rich just get richer because we stole the trade from the Jets. And now we got this guy sitting here at pick 13, which has no business being here. And he's going to shore up our defensive secondary. Give us Brian Branch from Alabama.
Ooh, I like it.
Alabama.
I like it. Kabasi, what do you think of that pick, buddy? Hit us up in the comments right there. If they pick up Brian Branch with the number 13 overall pick, I like it, man. Brian Branch is a dog. He's an absolute stud. What do you think, Slick?
Yeah, I like Branch. Me personally, I went tight end.
Ooh, did you go with Kincaid?
The kid Kincaid, I just don't.
Yeah, no, I've seen him in person.
Jump off the chart at me like Branch.
I seen him in person when they played Florida. He's all right.
Is he?
Yeah, he's all right. And Love needs some. He needs something. I mean, let's be real. In the NFL, when you're a young quarterback, when in doubt, you throw to your tight end.
True.
Yeah.
They still have Robert Tonyan there,
like this dude Kincaid is like
Tonyan. They still have Tonyan in Green Bay. I think he is.
Didn't he go to Houston?
Yeah, I think he left. I think so. I think Mercedes Lewis left too.
Oh no, Schultz went to Houston. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I just look at this dude Kincaid, and he's like 6'3", like 245. That doesn't scream prototypical tight end to me.
Well, they say he's not a real blocker, but he's more of a receiver.
He's a hybrid guy.
Give me Darren Waller, who's 6'6", 240. He can get open in the open space.
Waller's that tall?
Yeah, I think
Waller's
so.
pretty tall. Waller's
I
up
thought
there.
he was like 6'4".
Prophet he camouflaged into the war zone or the war room back there.
Well, I think it's tough to pick a tight end at 13. I think you can get tight end with some depth, right? I think I'd have a hard time with that. Kabasi says he thinks that they'll go defense from the defensive line from Georgia. So that would put Nolan Smith there if we haven't picked him yet. That's potential. We'll see. All right, we got the New England Patriots on the clock. Let's see. That goes to Prophet, right?
No, Slick.
Oh yeah, that's right. Slick, you're on the clock with the Patriots there.
I went with tackle from Ohio State, Paris Johnson Jr.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Me too.
Me too.
That's a need for him, right? That's an absolute
Onion
need
went
for
to the
him.
Bears.
Tonyan went to the. That's right. I remember that now. Okay. Ooh,
Thank you,
pick.
Kabasa.
Yeah, good pickup to.
Love your meat. Wait, what?
What?
We'll be right back
like
with
the
our
mustard.
Jack Links beef jerky. All right, we got the New York Jets on the clock. Now, so they're going to load up, right? They had a hell of a draft last year. They just got Aaron Rodgers. Their needs are tackle, linebacker. They can really do just about anything here. Wouldn't be surprised if this is a wide receiver pick. Maybe add another weapon on offense. What do you think? What happens here with the New York Football Jets there, Prophet?
No, I actually think they got a 40-year-old quarterback now. They got to protect him, and I got them taking the offensive guard Steve Avila out of TCU.
Okay. Yeah,
Nothing good has ever come from TCU. Oh, except Tomlinson, I guess.
Yeah, Tomlinson. I think that's about it, though. Right? Avila. Okay. All right. So they tackle. So you think that they
This
bypass?
guy on the list? I haven't seen him on my list yet.
Yeah, he's down there a little bit. That Darnell Wright was still on the board. Tackle. You have Anton Harrison tackle on the board there. But I've heard Avila, as far as being able to step in and play right away, is a guy. So
he's ready. Yeah, and.
All right, so next up we got the Washington Commanders. We had the Cardinals try to trade with the Commanders there, with Chase Young potentially being on the block. Keep our eyes out on that's. I don't think it's an accident that news came out right before the draft, by the way. So that could potentially be a big deal. That's kind of, pushed off there. So their needs. Hey, Drew, does the Commanders got a quarterback? No.
What?
They're gonna go with Sam Howell. You think they got one now? I don't know. I can't.
Who do I got the Commanders taking?
I can't go with
I don't have the
Anthony
Commanders
Richardson.
taking a QB.
No, honestly, right here, I would not be surprised. But the way that this is played out, if by chance, let's say Chase Young is not going to be a part of the Commanders' future long term, they need to replace an edge. I'm going to go with Nolan Smith here.
Ooh, I'm surprised he fell that far.
He'd be the best one on the board for what their needs potentially are. I can't see them getting a guard or center right there. I don't see them taking a project quarterback like Anthony Richardson. I'm not sold on him. Linebacker, I'm not sure. Nolan Smith, I think, would be there. Defensive line from Georgia. Okay. All right. Pittsburgh Steelers. We're up next. What do we got here, Drew?
Oh, he was already taken. So I think the Steelers here, they got their quarterback, they think, in place. They got their receiver in place. They need to shore up that offensive line. Here they're going to take best available. I had them taking Broderick Jones, falling down to 17. Clearly that didn't happen. That didn't work out. He got picked up a couple picks before this. So we're going to take best available tackle, which will be Darnell Wright from Tennessee.
Darnell Wright out of Tennessee. I like it. I think that's a good pick. The one on my radar, as I was kind of doing the mock draft here, the Pittsburgh Steelers have had a player not just on the field that was legendary in their coaching staff, and that was Joey Porter. And his son is one of the best corners in the draft. He's projected potentially first round. He's like fourth one on the board. I can possibly see if he's available right there that they bring in Joey Porter Jr. there. I can see that happening. But really, the glaring need, Drew, you hit the nail on the head. It's tackle. They need to be able to protect Kenny Pickett, man.
Yep.
They got to be able to protect him and let Najee Harris have some room running the football. That puts the Detroit Lions back on the clock. They need a wide receiver. Now, it might pay off for them, Drew. Hasn't been a run on wide receivers yet, right? We've only had one off the board. They need a tight end, interior defensive line. Earlier in this draft, we've had them taken Kancey. Slick, that was your pick for the Lions right there. So that takes that need off of the
They also need a running back.
Well, they got
also
Swift.
need a running back.
They got
Swift.
And
I don't love him. Jamal Williams
Swift
is gone.
Swift, and then Jamal Williams. Yeah, he's gone. But what do you got here?
They got David Montgomery.
Oh, that's right. They did.
Yeah.
They did get David Montgomery.
Yeah.
I went with Jordan Addison, receiver.
Ooh.
Man, I feel
Jordan
like
Addison.
I feel like I'm in a fantasy football draft right now.
That's fun.
Is it
So
August
Jordan
yet,
Addison.
boys?
I know. I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped for this. Jordan Addison, Slick, you're a receiver. Now that's two. I think you've been the guy that picked two receivers off the board right now. Your wide receiver is glaring. What do you like about Jordan Addison going to Detroit right here?
Number one, they needed a receiver. Number two, I mean, even though I don't feel like he was what they made him seem to be off of one season, he still is a playmaker and he still can stretch the field, which they need.
Okay.
So that's why I chose him.
Well, and now with Williams being suspended 6 games, right? They're going to have a need at least for 6 games. But the good news is when he comes back, they got 2 first-round receivers for Jared Goff to be throwing the ball around to.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they have some weapons, right? So I like that. Profit. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock, and they need, well, just about every damn thing.
Yeah, they do. And I actually had Darnell Wright going there, but he got taken a couple of slots ago. So at this point, rather than go with the 6 or 7 offensive line, I got to go with the best player available at this point, and that's Bijan Robinson.
Oh,
In
man.
my mind, and they need everything, like you said.
They do.
So,
Is this final answer? They pass
had-
on Anthony Richardson?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a toss-up for me with Richardson. I had him taking the tight end Kincaid, but
You got Robinson here? Just be clear.
Yes.
Okay, Robinson going here. Okay, got him. You
I
want to
mean,
know what?
you look at they have no running back. They have no nothing really. Like you said, they need everything. Receivers their receiving core is probably the best part of their team at this point.
I can see them going interior offensive linemen because they were riddled with injuries on the offensive line last year. I can see them going quarterback. That's what makes this draft so tough, guys. As you can see, there's teams with multiple high needs early on in the draft, and there's not just one guy that just stands out. It can go in multiple different ways. So this is going to be wild. And this wouldn't shock me either, by the way. If Bijan Robinson was still there at pick 19, I wouldn't be surprised with something like this. I don't know if it goes to the Bucks because I think he might go a little bit higher.
I think he goes sooner. Yeah,
he goes sooner too. But we got the Seattle Seahawks on the clock, and damn it, that means I'm picking for the Seattle Seahawks. Who's the lowest graded player in the draft? Whatever. All right, so they need obviously shore up their offensive line, defensive line. What did we do earlier? We had Jalen Carter going here. Let's take a look and see who's available. They could potentially maybe go edge. I could see that. Man. Oh, this is tough, dude. This is a really tough spot. Defensive line, guard, center. Hell with it. I'm going to go with Kincaid here. I think he's the best available at that spot. It'll give Geno Smith, another target. They have running back. I feel like their defense, they're going to build that, but I feel like they can get, if this is the way that it plays out, right? I do think that they could go corner early and see what happens defensive line at this spot. But what's available, I think if Kincaid was there, I think that they take him. I don't know if they go with the Joey Porter Jr. He doesn't really fit that type of scheme. I wouldn't be surprised the Michael Mayer from out of Notre Dame either. He's a hell of a tight end. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? This is wild. Dalton Kincaid here. I'm not sold on it right now, even though I made the pick.
I'm not sold on him in general. So
I think Kincaid fits what Carson. I'm not the Carson.
They haven't had a guy there since Jimmy Graham, right, in the tight end spot. In my opinion. They got Noah Fant, but he didn't do much last year.
I think Kincaid can fit in what the Seahawks do. Like the tight ends that they had in the past, they weren't traditional tight ends. They were like more hybrid. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like once Kincaid gets to the NFL, they're going to put the NFL weight on him. He'll become a better blocker, but they know he's shifty. He can move well. He can run routes, which is where the game is going. Like, I don't think it's too many. Are there any more traditional tight ends in the game still?
Man, not really anymore. I would say Mayer's probably, he's up there. I know he's a pretty good blocker, and they've split him out at receiver and things like that. I mean, he's a stud. But Kincaid, like you said, you know, the Seattle Seahawks, what they like to do, and when they've been successful under Pete Carroll's, and they've been running the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised with some 12 personnel. You know, one running back, two tight ends. Running the football with Geno Smith and getting DK Metcalf on the outside and playing a little power football. I wouldn't be surprised with that.
They're equipped right now to do that with the tight ends that they have, BP. Like,
who do they have other than Fant? Who's their second tight end?
They got Parkinson and Disley. And other than Fant, they're predominantly run blocking tight ends.
Right.
And you're not going to get a whole lot of that out of Kincaid. Yeah,
he could be a threat over the middle.
He's going to stretch. He's going to stretch the defense. He's a receiver basically, and we talked about this a month ago on the show, and I had Smith being drafted here in this slot, and that's what I had going into tonight also.
Was it Mozzie Smith? Is that who you're talking about?
No, the receiver, Najiba.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Do you think he might fall to 20?
Yeah, I don't think the receivers are going to go that early.
Okay.
I don't think they're good enough really to go that early.
Okay. All right, we got the Chargers on the clock now. Drew, that goes back to you. Now, this is kind of wild, right? The Dolphins have forfeited their pick. Normally, they would be picking in this spot, but they forfeited it. I can't remember what happened. I'm not going to lie. I can't remember what happened, but I know it was serious. They lost the first-round pick. So, we got the 21st pick going to the Los Angeles Chargers. They have some glaring needs at wide receiver, linebacker, corner. What are your thoughts here, Drew?
Deonte Banks, one of the best corners in the draft. 4.35 speed, 42-inch vertical jump, great cover skills. Going to add a lot to their secondary. Big pickup for the Los Angeles Chargers.
I like it. And that would pair with Asante Samuel Jr. in that AFC West that has a lot of threats on the outside and some pretty good quarterbacks. So I like that pick there, Drew. Slick, I'm not going to lie. I didn't look at who would be picking what team, but this fits you, man. Baltimore Ravens with all the Lamar Jackson stuff going on and the way that it's played out, Anthony Richardson just happens to be sitting right there in front of you, man. What do you do? What do you do if this happens?
I'm definitely not picking Anthony Richardson.
Oh, man.
I don't blame you, Slick.
But what if Lamar Jackson? What if they trade him? What if they trade him earlier in the draft? You know, and something happens, and they just have Huntley that's back there, and Anthony Richardson is sitting right there, which is a little bit of a project, but he can run around a little bit, and it wouldn't be that much of a stretch from, well,
Please don't say
Nobody's
that.
Nobody's Lamar
Please
Jackson.
don't say that.
But he's mobile. He's mobile. That's all I'm
Anthony
saying.
Richardson and Lamar Jackson are in two different tiers.
Two different tiers, absolutely. But he's mobile, is what I'm trying to say. He's mobile and he can move around. But you're not taking him here.
Mm-mm. I think he should have stayed at Florida.
I mean, the way he's dropping in our draft right now, I think that's right. Do you think this happens tomorrow night? By the way, Richardson would still be available here at 22.
Yeah,
I think I'm with you guys on that.
I mean, it's nobody that has went so far that needs a quarterback needs his type of quarterback.
Right.
Like he doesn't fit anything anybody does.
I mean, he had a great pro day, but I think he's a project, right? Like
I had a great pro day. What does that mean? Like he doesn't. It's not a need for him.
Oh man, I can't say shit now. That's
It's
awesome.
not. It's not a need for him.
That's awesome.
Like
Well, who you got?
I feel like he needs another year.
I had a good pro day. He says. We're sitting here Wednesday night before the draft. Huh?
With the Ravens, I went receiver again.
Who you got?
But my reasoning for doing it is because I'm anticipating them figuring out whatever they need to figure out for Lamar.
And they just brought in OBJ, right?
And they just brought in OBJ. And I feel like, yes, you can go defense and get a corner, or edge, or what is it, a linebacker, or edge rusher. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the scheme of what the Ravens do is what makes their defense good.
You think
so?
Q
I feel like
here?
you could get somebody a little bit later that's decent or pretty good and plug them in and fit that scheme, and they can still play ball. Like that. That's how I looked at it.
Who you got him picking?
Hold on. Nathaniel Dale from Houston. They need a guy to blow the top off. Yep.
This is your guy.
You gotta. We don't know what OBJ is gonna do, but if you get somebody to stretch it, OBJ might be able to do a little bit as a number 2 or 3 guy, a guy underneath, route runner.
Okay. All right. Slick has picked 3 straight wide receivers, by the way.
I like that wide receiver pick better.
That's what NFL has went.
Better than Philadelphia. Right. Better than the Eagles taking one there, Slick. But Slick, how crazy would it be though, man, to shove it in Pittsburgh's face by taking Joey Porter Jr.?
Oh man, that would be some stuff right there. Yeah, we got the Minnesota Vikings on the clock right here. Look like needs. They lost Adam Thielen in the offseason. They don't have a lot of wide receiver depth outside of JJ. Defensive line, linebacker, corner. What do we got here, Prophet?
Okay, this is probably going to be the oddball pick of the draft here. Okay. Out of the University of Tennessee, the volunteer state, Hendon Hooker.
QB.
Okay. OG.
Explain yourself. We gotta hear this.
Well, Hooker's not ready. Hooker probably will not be ready in September. It's almost a definitive. He doesn't need to be in Minnesota.
Okay.
Cousins is in his last year of his contract, and they're talking that they're not going to be renewing his contract. They need to get a quarterback. Next year's class right now does not look anywhere near as lucrative as Hendon Hooker sitting the bench and learning from Cousins for the year.
Okay.
And he'll be ready to play. I personally think Hendon Hooker is the best quarterback in this draft. If he was not hurt.
Hey, Prophet, you live in Tennessee?
I do. I live right outside of Knoxville.
Drew, you call me a homer here. Are you hearing this?
I fell asleep for a couple minutes. What happened?
Hey, I've been hearing some things about Hooker. There's been a lot of buzz around him, but it's really an unknown question mark where he's going to go. And he can really fall anywhere. And you make some really good points as far as knowing that he might be a little bit of a project.
Kibasi says he'll take the quarterback from Tennessee.
Kibasi.
So
Kibasi's talking a lot of trash, saying he won the mock draft challenge last year, and he's been doing nothing but blowing up my phone, saying how he's going to win it this year. So I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see Kibasi. Can't wait to see it, buddy.
Cash my check.
All right, Jacksonville Jaguars are up. They have a bunch of different needs, right? They have Evan Ingram there, so they have a tight end. So I think looking at what's available here, I do think DB is a huge need, and if Joey Porter Jr. is sitting right there, I think it makes a lot of sense. They could go edge with Myles Murphy. I think they addressed that a little bit last year. I don't think it might be as glaring of a need, but I'm going to go Joey Porter Jr. here with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's the right pick.
It's a good spot there. I love the beanie, Drew. You got your New York Giants on your head, and guess what? At pick 25, you're up.
I don't know how that worked out, but it
Look at
did.
that. It's serendipitous, man.
Yeah. What was her name? Sarah what?
Serendipitous?
Oh, Sarah.
Sarah dips in it.
What the hell kind of show is this? I don't know. My mock draft is so screwed up. But this guy, I still had taken, or the Giants picking this guy. I'm going with Luke Van Ness. Just kind of fits the scheme there, and in New York or New Jersey, kind of fits that type of defense. Tough Iowa linebacker. So I'm going Luke Van Ness.
Well, that would be back-to-back first rounds that they took an edge rusher, right, to put some pressure on some of these quarterbacks. I mean, the popular positions, Slick mentioned it, with wide receiver, it's quarterback and edge rusher. Those are the guys that are going, that are making the money. Those are the guys that are making impacts on games. This makes a lot of sense. The Dallas Cowboys, Slick, Robinson's off the board. They need a running back. And if he's not there, do they go with the guy in the first round here? Do they wait? Do they go with the linebacker? Do they go with the corner? Do they address their offensive line? What do we got here, Slick?
Well, as you know, I had went with Robinson, but I go with D-line, Brian Breesy or Breeze, whatever, the inside.
Out of Clemson? Yeah.
The D tackle from Clemson.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm gonna go with him.
All right. I like it. We got the Buffalo Bills on the clock at 27. By the way, this is where I think this draft has some issues, okay? Early on, I think you can make an argument for certain guys. Like we came up here and we're talking quarterbacks, and we have some of these top guys coming off the board. You kind of come down, it's really a jumble of players. To me, at this point, there's not a guy that really stands out. I think it goes to need, and it can be whoever's on the board that has, that player there. And it could be a shock, like somebody that might not have had a first-round grade could be going to some of these picks right here.
Right.
So with that being said, Prophet, we got the Buffalo Bills on the clock. Stephon Diggs has been kind of loud in the offseason. Maybe he's not super happy. I don't know how much to read into his social media stuff, but I know that's going on. They've fallen short the last couple years with in the playoffs, right? Their defense not being able to cover some receivers, whether it's 13 seconds left in Kansas City or Joe Burrow going into Buffalo and making them pay and eliminating them from the playoffs. Jesus. What do we got here? Do you think they may make a move here at corner, or what do you got?
Yeah, I think they might, but I had them taking Jordan Addison originally in my draft, and he's not available, obviously. So, they might. No, they're staying wide receiver. They need to give Diggs some help. And
do they lose Gabriel Davis?
Gabe
gone,
Davis, right? Yeah. I mean, the guy scores 4 touchdowns in a game and goes 5-6 games without getting 50 yards. He's not consistent. I think they're going to go after Quentin Johnson here.
Okay. I got to go to our receiver draft guru here in Slick. I know that you were pretty critical of him when we broke down the receivers. He only really had one good year at TCU. What would you think of this if he goes to Buffalo at pick 27?
I don't think it'll be a bad fit because they need another big receiver. I still think that he will have to get polished up and kind of get used to the NFL. But out the gate, I think he'll help them. I mean, I feel like he'll do better than what Kelvin Benjamin did when he was there.
Kelvin Benjamin? Isn't he playing tight end somewhere on the end of the couch?
I don't know exactly. But I think, of course, he's not Davis. I think he has more upside than Davis. but I feel like that's a good that'll be a good landing spot for him.
And I think after losing Gabriel Davis, I really think that overall when you look at that, the next guy up is what's his name? Shakir he was out of Boise State. He's like a third, like a slot receiver type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, interested in that. But okay, all right. So let's take a look. We got the Bengals on the clock here. Now, this is a team that was in the AFC Championship game again, and they have a need at tight end. And one of the best tight ends in the country was Michael Mayer out of the University of Notre Dame. I think this right here is a no-brainer. They lost Uzama, right? They lost him the previous year, and I think they have a need here at tight end. I'm going to go with him at pick 28.
That's a phenomenal pick there, and that's scary.
It is.
To give Barrow another weapon like that.
Right.
I've got who's the material? Kincaid going in that slot. I've got Meyer going earlier than Kincaid.
Okay.
But either one, giving Barrow another weapon, is scary.
I went Darnell Washington. I went tight end, but I went Darnell Washington from Georgia.
Darnell Washington.
So that's not a bad pick there either.
Okay. I like it. All right. We got the New Orleans Saints on the clock. We got 3 picks left. So that's Drew, Slick, and ending up with Profit there. So we got the Saints on the clock. Drew, who you got going into this spot?
Just a boring pick. Just filling a void that is needed. Offensive lineman Anton Harrison. I think the Saints need a lot of help at a couple different positions on the offensive line. So take the best available offensive lineman. I had actually in my personal mock draft was the guy from Tennessee going here, but for this sake, we'll go Anton Harrison.
Okay, I like it. All right, we got the Philadelphia Eagles back up on the clock. Now, remember earlier we had Njigba going in this spot. Slick, who you got with the 30th overall pick with the Philadelphia Eagles?
John Michael Schmitz, the center from Minnesota.
John Jacob Jingle Michael Schmitz. That's my name too. All right, I like it. They need a center. He's the top center rated in the country right now. They need a guy, right? So right now they still have Jason Kelce. He's still there. They could potentially move him to guard, get him some playing time before they officially make the move to center. They do need a guard. He is versatile. He can go all over the interior of that line. I like that pick a lot there, Slick. Now with the last pick of the first round is the Kansas City Chiefs after the defending Super Bowl champions. Profit, who they going after?
Well, I'm hearing a lot of rumbling that the Chiefs might be moving here. They're talking with Washington about Montez Sweat, and if that happens, that would take care of their need for their edge guy.
Okay.
So they wouldn't be here to pick either, though.
Right.
But
okay.
They are here. So, with that being said, what I just said about giving Burrow another weapon, I'm giving Mahomes Zay Flowers.
Okay.
And
I like that pick.
Jeez.
I
the
got
rich
him
just
in
get richer, man.
my actual
right?
mock draft. I got him going there.
Yeah, that's where I got him also. And to put that speed in with them receiver, that's crazy. If it happens, look for another repeat.
That's wild. Well, here's our first round mock draft. We'll post it online. This is what we came up with tonight, live drafting. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. We're excited. Make sure that you get your mock draft in. Send it into the Backyard Blitz at Outlook.com. I highly recommend PFF.com. They have a great mock draft simulator. You can send it any which way you want. Remember, it's just the player at that pick number, not necessarily the team. We can't wait to see what you guys have, and we'll announce the winner next week, boys.
What an event. That was a marathon.
We went in the bed.
That was
my
a
goodness.
marathon.
That wasn't as bad. That was more fun, and it wasn't anywhere near as long as if we went over all our pick. Yeah,
that's what I was
exactly.
thinking. Absolutely.
We would have been here till midnight.
Not
Well,
me.
still be going.
Some of us, I would have been in bed, but
Yeah, I would have put a dagger in it.
Pause. Yep.
All
Pause.
All right, so that means make sure you get in $150 on the line, okay? And you know what this means.
it's time.
We got our hot shot of the week coming up. Drew, I'm working on grabbing that link real quick, so let's go to Slick first.
My hot shot of the week goes to, we just talked about the whole mock draft. So mine goes to all the guys that have done what they need to do to prepare for the moment tomorrow. And the fact that they're even going to be in a position to be drafted. Like, that's definitely a blessing. That's a goal, a dream. That's just a great accomplishment. So for any guy that gets drafted in any round, like that's definitely a blessing.
Absolutely.
So shots goes to those guys.
That's awesome, man. Slick, that's big time. I mean, let's be honest, guys. When we were of this age, this was our dream, right? To have our name called up on that stage. Honestly, for me, it wouldn't have mattered the round. It just would have been happy to have my name called. It would have been awesome. So those guys, starting tomorrow, their dreams are becoming realities, and they're showing some of these young kids that are out there grinding. Slick, those kids that you're out there working with, Drew, those kids that you're coaching, that it's possible that it can happen. So I always love to see a young man's dream come true, because we played the game at a high level, but this is the ultimate, and man, what a thrill that would be. So I love that, Slick. That's awesome. Prophet, what you got, man?
Well, this saying, pertains to what Slick just said, and Slinger is familiar with this, but happy are those who dream the dream and are willing to work hard to make that dream come true. And that being said, my hot shot this week is Drew Maggi. Drew Maggi he's the third baseman for the Pittsburgh Pirates. As of this past Monday, he got called up. 13 years he spent in the minor leagues. Playing minor league ball, and he finally got his call. Now, as of 8 o'clock tonight, he hasn't been on the field yet, but that doesn't matter to him or any of it, I'm sure. But the perseverance to not give up, never give up. 13 years in the minor leagues is a tough life too.
Yeah. Going from town to town on a
bus, a school bus, sometimes.
Yeah, not getting paid a lot, right?
But
with the Marauders,
the Pirates.
but I'm saying, but they're minor league team, right?
Oh no, the MLB, Major League.
Oh, I thought you said he was 13. He played 13 years with minor league, and then
Yes, he played 13 years in the minors, and he finally got called up Monday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the minor league team was it with the Marauders, which is the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. He obviously started at single A, so he's played for numerous minor league teams. I don't know exactly, but Drew Maggi, you're my hot shot this week.
Nice. I like it.
Play ball.
All right, Drew, I got your link. Go ahead.
Put that link out there. My hot shot of the week for the second week in a row goes to my new squad, the Gateway family. We launched our largest fundraiser of the year, of the season, tonight. We just posted the link on all platforms. We have a goal of $7,500, and like I said, we launched less than 2 hours ago, and we're already at over almost $3,000 raised. So these kids are killing it. The parents are killing it. We got $1,000 donation from a parent, which is awesome, and it just shows the commitment to the program and the kind of kids and the kind of parents that we got. They're excited to get things going, and as am I. And I know one of the kid, a couple of kids actually talked to me, during weight room that, they pop on and they watch the podcast and stuff like that. So they know on Wednesday nights, they're like, Coach, you got to go. You got to get to the podcast. I don't know if they're trolling me or if they're being serious, but so it's cool. It's cool to interact with them. That's that awesome. Way. But dude, I don't answer nothing from anybody. Blitz Nation. If you guys feel so inclined, like I said, the link is in, posted down there, and that all goes to my new squad and help the kids out, man. So that's my hot shot of the week for having $3,000 in less than 2 hours.
That's awesome, man. Nice. That's fantastic. All right, guys, I got 2 hot shots of the week. First of all, I got to shout out to you guys. I know I put you through a little test. I know Drew can get a little frustrating sometimes. But I wanted to try to make a fun show, right? And doing this mock draft, it's always a blast. I appreciate you guys' flexibility. It's been tough, man, with this new job to even have time doing some of this stuff. So I appreciate your guys' time. I know you're every bit as busy as anybody, in the fact that we can still meet up. We can talk football. Honestly, I was talking to my wife about it. I was like, sometimes it's not even the football talk. I just love talking to you guys every single week. Is a blast. So hot shot to you guys. The second one, I'm gonna try not to get emotional on this one. My dad had a birthday on the 13th of April. I was out of town, but he's going through something right now, and I'm not gonna get super in the weeds with it. But he's going through radiation right now. He's got to go through 6 straight weeks. Every single day, he's having to go to the hospital and get radiation to take care of an issue that he's been dealing with. Man, my dad was always the guy that made me super competitive. He never let me win at anything in my entire life. I had to earn every single victory I had, and that's why, I will beat anybody's grandmother in tic-tac-toe because of how he raised me, to be competitive and my daughter will tell you I don't let her win at anything. I'm hard on her with it, but she's competitive like me, and that's something I got from my father. So I just want to say, Dad, I love you, man. I know you're going through stuff that's really tough right now. I try to give you a pep talk every single day. He's a former Marine. And just to give you a heads up, I never hear him get emotional. I never hear him, complain about anything, but I know this has been really tough on him just in the conversation. So I wanted to take the time, give him a shout out, man. Get better. I'm in your corner, man. We love you. And, you're going to kick its ass.
Go get him, Mr. Peebs.
Prayers to Big Peebs.
I appreciate that, you guys.
Prayers.
All right.
One last thing. Yeah, I wasn't here last week. So a happy belated 420 birthday to everybody.
Willie Nelson's birthday.
Yeah. That's all awesome. I got.
I love it. I love it.
I got. Real useful stuff there.
Oh my God!
Look, these guys are all cracking up. It was useful.
It was useful, man. Hey, next week we'll be back. We'll talk about the draft. We'll talk about what's going on, and it might be close to summer break time. We're all getting pretty busy, so we'll see what's going on. But we'll love to see you next week. Talk about the draft, see where everybody went, see who made an ass of themselves too. I'm sure that there's going to be somebody out there. So we'll see you guys next week. Can't wait.